Sounds about right. Welcome back to Veteran Revivals. I'm Art, your veteran idiot. This is our 454 we tore down. This is all the crap that came out of it, and this is all the parts that's going to go back into it. So on 2-3 episodes back, we tore this thing down. Saw that the bearings are a little wore out, but otherwise it is in great condition. Found out since then it is 30 over, and it has been ground down 10 thou on all of the journals. So we got oversized bearing or undersized bearings for all of this. New rings for that, a dingle ball hone to throw some crosshatch in it and clean it up a little bit. Timing chain and gears so we can toss this on nothing just yet. Soon though, real soon. But it's gonna go in that C20, the short bed conversion C20. Colonel Sherbert is, we just gotta find a transmission and then it'll be good to go and then everything will work. Let's go ahead and rip the crank out of this thing so we can start dingle balling this. I've got sunshine on a cloudy day. Got some debris down in here. Looks like carbon, like gasket material. We'll yank all that out. Yep, it's all gasket material. It's kind of neat that the oil pickup spins around. Go with it. Then it's not that one. Listen, this will be my first 454. I have torn apart and rebuilt the 383 that we had in the modified, the dirt car. This is the first 454 that I've built. So judgment, keep it on the low. Okay, thanks. All right. Well, is that held from the inside? I don't understand. Is it? I don't get it. Okie dokie. Oh, they're just set on pegs so it don't spin. I got it. Well, okie dokie. If you say so. If you say it is, it shall be. There's gasket material all over the inside of this thing. We'll be cleaning this up, spraying it off, so on and so forth. Don't get worried. Now, 3, 4, okay, they are marked. Just making sure they were before I started taking all this crap off. All these journals looked good too. Nothing at all. So I wasn't going to polish or nothing. I know that's probably not the right way to go, but they all looked really good. I was going to leave them alone. Ooh, wrong way. Them little guys snap right off. You gotta be careful with these little Chevy bolts. All right. Sometimes I run, sometimes I hide. Sometimes I'm scared of you. This one little fella here don't want to come off. It's not very nice. Well, whew, that seal's going to be interesting. Okay. Oh! Yeah, that chain is pretty loose. Okie dokie. Sweet lordy. What did they put those in with? Red Loctite? Cranky. Okay. Why? Why no want to come off? Alright, so the problem here is it still want to come off. So I'm going to have to get some grabbers to yank this off, but it also doesn't want to come off here. It's stuck on there. I can give it a little whack here, get something behind it and give it the cam a little whack to try and push it to the other side. But also, if you notice, 0 retard advance. This thing's been swapped out already at some point and replaced with a good timing chain and gear. It's just kind of wore out is the only problem. But we got a Summit one over here we're going to toss in. And we'll leave it the same. We'll go 0. We're not going to go advance or retard onto this. This isn't going to be a crazy engine. But let's see if we can get this thing out of here. First of all, I'm just curious how I'm going to do that. How am I going to hold this and whack that? I want to come out. Why are you stuck? Why is everything on here stuck? Chevys are supposed to be easier. That's what everybody keeps telling me. This is proven to be just as difficult as that 460 in the Bronco. Liar! Liar! I shouldn't say that because it's not even close. That 460 was such a pain in the arse. Alright. Let me keep working on this. Alright, let's get this fool out of here. Yep. Okay, up. Oh, she is a heavy girl. Like I said, them bearings, they look pretty good. There's no grooves, nothing. I wonder if maybe they just pulled this engine out just to do an LS. That's what it kind of looks like. But everything is good here, it appears. That one ain't coming out. Alright, let's keep rolling. Get this cam out of here. Get to clean and, you know what I'm saying? Dog. Snoop Dizzle. Double OG. HEIJK. Elemental P. Sometimes I run. Sometimes I hide. Sometimes I'm there for you. Oh, forgot the pump shaft. Get out of here. It's like a little gatekeeper. We're trying to get this thing out of here. Let's just go ahead and flip this over. Stop messing with that. There we go. Pump shaft out of the way. Bam! Oh girl. Yeah. And our first problem. Alright, so remember when I said, wow, I don't know why they pulled this engine out. This was a long time ago, so you may have to reach way back in your memory. But wow, I don't know why they pulled this engine out of here. They must have just pulled it out to put in an LS, because this thing looks great. But everything is good here. That lobe is completely wiped out. She don't exist anymore. Okay, all right, well, didn't see that on the lifter, surprisingly enough. Okay, well, all right, cool. All right then, so I'm gonna try and find a cam and some lifters. Okay, so what we've encountered here with this cam, most unfortunate. Can't do anything about it. This would be quite the undertaking to switch to roller. It's like 1,200 to 1,500, 1,000, 1,500, somewhere around there between that for a roller cam and roller lifters, plus the retainer plate on the front and a different timing gear set. So I just ordered up a flat tappet, hydraulic flat tappet cam, similar to the factory one, and some lifters. And we will keep rolling on this till that shows up. We'll go ahead and scrape all this crap off, dingle ball hone it, and start throwing in the rings checking the gaps and all that stuff, and then we can put the bearings and all that other business. So when the cam gets here, pull the crank back out and put in the camshaft. Could actually, maybe, I don't know. It would be kind of difficult to put the cam bearings in with the crankshaft in place. Anyways, we'll get it all put together, get the tolerance set, make sure everything is good to go, and then I can move and take apart as necessary to get camshaft, so on and so forth in there. But now I'm going to start scraping this bad dog up. Scrapey, scrapey, eggs and bakey. For the most part, the surfaces are pretty clean. There's just some gasket here and there. Surprising considered how glued these things were onto these cylinders, or this block. Getting the head gasket material off of those heads is probably going to be a different story. But for the most part, this is coming off pretty easy. We'll have to hit that, smooth that out a little bit. It's just where the water ports are, it's all gummed up. Alright, I'm going to keep working on this thing, and I'll get back with you guys. Alright, so now that that is all cleaned up, let's break out the dingle ball this sucker. This particular one is a 4.5. That should go bloop right down inside. I am going to throw some power steering fluid or some motor oil in here as I'm doing it. That way it doesn't get, you know, too aggressive with the scoring, and it'll slide in and out. And then we'll just give it some whoop, 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 whoop on each cylinder, get some cross hatching, and then we'll call it a day. I don't want to dig too deep in here because then you're going to start opening up gaps. And you got piston slap and all that business, which you'd have to probably do this for quite a while, but it does take a lot of material off while you're doing this. Too fast. There we go. You want to match your skinny to your uppy downy to get a good X. If it's too narrow, not good. Too vertical, not great. So a good X. There's a specific amount of rotations per inch that you go up and down. I'm just going to do this one by eye. Ooh, child. Things are going to get easier. Alright, let's get it, girl. Throw some on top of this here dingle ball, dinging, dinging, dinging. Get it nice and gooped up. This is a very messy job. And then we'll throw some in the cylinder here. And I'll even throw some on top till this thing gets nice and gooped, because there are still some dry dingle balls. Actually, goop that around a little bit. Very messy job. Very messy. Very, very messy. Get her all in there. Goop some more in there. And go to town. Whoops. Got to tighten that up a little more. Let's see what that looks like. We'll keep going. It's pretty good, but I'm going to give it a little steeper, so I'm going to go in and out faster. Goop a little more. All right, in and out faster. Yeah, that looks a little better. Yeah, I like it. I like it a lot. We're not going crazy. I just want to get this cross hatching in here. So we'll go ahead and move on to the next one. Keep on rolling. A little more goop. Yeah. Yeah. I am sweating my nethers off in here. It is not that hot out today, but it rained last night, so it's like 60% humidity or more. Just a lot. Swamp cooler's not doing much because of all the humidity. So, good cross hatching, looks great. I'm real happy with it. There's a couple spots where you can still see some scoring going down, but you can't feel any of it. So, I think we're good with that. All right, I'm gonna take it out, hose it off, hose it down with some WD-40, keep it from rusting, and then we will throw some pistons and rings and such, and bearings and doodads and dingle hoppers and all that business in. Beep, beep, coming through. Oh, and I'm drenched. I soaked down the cylinders with some WD-40 and I'm letting the engine dry out there. While we're doing that, go ahead and I'll knock off all this carbon off of these pistons so they look nice and clean. And then the nut should be dry out there and we can roll it back in and start stuffing everything in it. And go. That's nice. Kind of hard to get into these little areas without really scuffing up the piston. All right, 7 more to go. So this one looks like it inhaled something at some point, but it's not down into the ringland, and it's not anywhere that's going to be touching the cylinder, so I think I'm going to leave it alone, call it a day. Maybe it'll be a hot spot, but we're not running nitrous or anything, so I shouldn't think it would be like detrimental. Y'all might have some different opinions on that, but I'm comfortable with it. All right, those are all done. I'm gonna toss these rockers and push rods into a gas can with the crappiest kerosene gas I can find. Let those all soak. We'll toss these lifters, throw them away. The one you guys are wanting to see is around here somewhere. Hold on, I'll find it. There she is. Yeah. All right. Junk. So, anywho, tossing the parts in some kerosene to clean up. And I've spent most of my time today trying to figure out the cam situation and get that squared away. Tossing up between roller and hydraulic, flat tap it. So, I've run out of time today, but I've got everything cleaned up. We're ready to start assembling. So in the morning we'll pick it up, we'll bring the block in, and we'll get blowing out all the holes and cleaning out all the passageways, and then we'll start throwing these pistons in after I get the rings gapped. You know the deal. I'll see you tomorrow. All right, we're back.
What's in the box?
The box is our cam and lifters, and pretty sure that's it. I can't even remember what I ordered a couple days ago. So where we left off, cleaned up the pistons, are ready to start gapping the rings. And so we'll start doing that business. We make sure we got the right stuff in here. Whole box of lifters. Yeah, girl. start soaking them bad girls. This is all just Summit stuff. There's nothing really crazy in here other than the Cleveite or Molly cam bearings. And then this here, Summit sticker. This here is our Summit Classic Cam. High Performance Camshaft. SUM TAC 1301. This guy, let me give you the specs here. Give me a sec, I'll get this thing open. It's smarter than me, okay? Just give me a freaking second here. Yeet! Alrighty here. Ooh, came with assembly lube. I like it. Alright. Duration 277, 287, and then 502, 501. That'll do. That'll do. That's at 1.7. These are not 1.7. And then factory is 278, 288. And then with the lift of 392, 412 or something like that. It's pretty close to factory. The closest I could find to factory for this, because nothing else is done in this engine and it's not going to be a hot rod. And it was cheap. It's real cheap. And I think we'll be perfectly fine. Should be no interference. We can throw some clay in there, but I doubt that's going to be an issue at all. I've seen all kinds of forums say that they put this cam in here with zero issues at all, and this is about as mild as you get. So let's go ahead and start tapping out these bearings, tap in the new ones, and throw this cam in so we can start all the rest of the crap, grinding the rings if we need to, but I doubt we'll have to do that as well. So actually, as I was walking over, the rockers looked a little bit long to me, so I looked it up, and they are actually 1.7 rockers. So that's neat. I didn't know that. The factory, they were 1.7 rockers. But again, everything I found says that we should clear with the factory heads and these pistons up to like 520. And we're not advancing at all. It's going to be straight up, so should be good. Should be good. Should be noted that the cam bearings on this 454 are smaller than that of the 460. Just something to note. Not saying anything. And again, last time I was saying things and it turned out to be okay for the 454, but I'm just saying, you know what I'm saying? Why, you little... That damn pump rod got in the way again. This little guy. Should just take this thing out, right? Right? I know there's a bolt or something you can slide in here to lock it into place somewhere. I believe in a thing called love. Just I believe in a thing called love. There we go. No more pump shaft involvement. Dick move, bro. Not cool. Not cool at all.
5 minutes later.
All of them are punched out. New ones are all punched in. Everything looks good. So we're gonna slap some lube on this cam, slide it in, call her a day, goop this up. We'll goop the lobes and stuff like that a little later. Yeah, buddy. It's a little difficult doing this on its side. It's kind of hard. The brain doesn't want to balance it that way, but this pump shaft is a pain. I know there's probably a way to take it out, but it's just not doing it for me. Come on, y'all. Probably can't see it on the camera, but I'm doing all kinds of Michael Jordans over here, trying to line this up and not scratch anything. Boom, shakalaka. Oh yeah. Okay, now we can let that pump shaft ride do its thing. We goop all these lobes. Almost out of my high viscosity assembly lube. There we go. All right. let's flip her over. Actually, we won't put the lifters in just yet because they'll fall out when we're trying to do the bearings and everything else. So I don't quite have a schedule laid out for this. It's probably why I have such a hard time with this. I need like a flow sheet. But anywho, I guess what I'm trying to say is that I don't know much about building engines, but I can look it up. I can use my references, my friends and stuff like that to put these things together. The one in that Mustang runs great. No issues at all. Bronco, to be determined. Need a transmission so it can actually move and we know what's going on. But this, so far, going pretty smooth. Sucks that we found the camshaft the way we did, but now we can move on to bigger and better things. Let's get the crankshaft set in here and the bearings, and then we will use our plasti gauge and see what we got with that. First, I'm going to try and scrape some of this gasket off. All right, now that's all scraped off. Remember, friends, these journals need to be dry. No oil, no debris, nothing in there that can cause you to get a false reading or over tight or anything like that. So everything's clean. The pedestals, the journals, all cleaned up. Same with the caps as well. And we'll drop in the lower bearings and the cap bearings. Well, lower bearings, we'll drop the crankshaft after we spray it off. Drop that in there, and then we'll get the main caps and our plasti gauge. Boop, boop, be-doop, boop. Make sure them suckers is clean. They're keyed in a way that you can't really put the wrong ones in the wrong place. So the uppers have these grooves in them too, FYI, just in case you were wondering. These all look pretty good. And these are all undersized by 10,000s because this crank has been turned. And then unlike in the Ford, the thrust bearing is in the back, all the way at the back of the crankshaft. The Ford is in the middle. That one's gonna get a little rappity tappity tap. Flush it out. All right, now that those are in, we can sling some assembly lube on them so we're not screwing things up. Yeah. All right, let's clean up that crank and drop it on here. Whew. Oh, I picked it up the wrong way. Okay, all the bearings are on the caps. Now I'm going to clip a little piece of plasti gauge and throw it in each one of these and see what our tolerances look like. Come on over. Come on out of here. Come on, get out. Boop. 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 That one's a little twisty, but it'll do. Boop. And kaboop. Crank them suckers down. These are gonna be 95 foot-pounds. We'll take it, I don't know, 45, and then we'll go 95. Doesn't have to be two-step, but why not, right? You know what I mean? I think this torque wrench might have met its fate. No longer does the things. Sweet. Yep. This one gave up the ghost. This was a really expensive torque wrench too. But, you know, it is 18 years old. Digital. Finally gave up the ghost. It sucks. Super expensive. Super duper. Alright. I guess I'm going to run to the store, get all the oils and paint and all that business, and oil filter, and we'll get back at this when I get back. Welcome back. So it's the next day. Went to go pick up my new torque wrench down here, which is on sale, 35% off at Harbor Freight. You should check it out. I didn't know either. So on my way back, I ran into a dust storm and came home to this, which completely, as you can see, everything in here, it's not a sealed shop. Plus I got half the truck sticking out. Everything in here is covered in dust, including the engine. There is a nice film of dust on everything. So, which it doesn't make any sense. That shouldn't have happened. So we got to pull everything out of this thing, hose it down with brake clean, and then put it all back together. Try and get all that dirt and dust and everything out of there. Is what it is at this point. However, I do have all the plastic gauge in there, so we're going to go ahead and get those tolerances. I'm not going to spin the engine or anything. We're just going to get the main caps checked out with the plastic gauge that's in there, and then we'll pull it all apart, hose it down, put it all back together. So what'd we say? We're going to, let's go 50 first, and then we'll go 95 all the way around. Now we go to 95. Bang. All right, let's take them all off. Woo, it's a good spread. I'm liking what I'm seeing already. All right, so the tolerance on this is 7 10,000ths to 27 10,000ths. Let's see which one we fall into. That looks like 15 10,000ths. So that is good. Street strip, they say to go, between 20 10,000ths and 25 10,000ths, but that is plenty good. It's right in the middle of the specs. So we will leave that beautiful. On to the next. Now that one's right at 15 10,000ths as well. Sweet. I'm liking it. I'm loving it. I'm wanting some more of it. Tries so hard to keep dust out of it. This one looks about, call it 18 10,000ths. About 13 10,000ths. And we're like 14 10,000ths. 14. Cool. So all the main journals, perfect, good to go. Let's lift this out of here, hose all this down, clean the cam and everything. I can see so much dust on everything in here. So we'll hose it all down, hit the cylinders with some WD-40 again, goop up the cam, and keep on rolling. What the hell? What the helly? What the helly berry? All right, we'll give that a chance to dry out real quick and carry on with carrying on. All right, let's scoop up this cam. Got to be 9 times smarter than the bottle you're working with. Otherwise, it's a stalemate. What the hell? What the helly berry? Oh yeah, that's some goopy stuff right there. Let's just goop that right on up inside each one of these here journals. Cool, 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 cool. Slap a bunch on these journals themselves, on the seal. Bam! Get some on his thrust. Cool. Crank them suckers down. Clean off the excess where the pedestals are gonna go. Give it the old Torque Master 3000. Go to 45 and then we'll go up. 95. Okay, cool. That's all torqued down. Nice. I'm not gonna hook up the timing chain and that business till we get the pistons in and all that stuff set. That way I'm not unnecessarily spinning the cam around. Blah, blah, blah. But this looks good. Nice. Very nice. I'm gonna drop a little lube between the thrust here and we'll get started on them pistons. It's hot in here, bro. Whew. Okay, cool. So here we go. Starting with the bottom rings, the oil rings. We'll split these up and just get them in here for right now. Bam, stuck together well. Looking for 10 to 35 thousandths on this. Here, feller. Looks better than 10, so we'll go up to, let's try 20, 26. I think that's gonna be her. It's pretty tight. Cool. I'm gonna start knocking the rest of these out, and I'll get back with you. All the rings are set on this. Everything came out well. Number 8 cylinder is a little loose, and I'm not sure what the deal was with that. As far as the rings go, it is the cylinder that does have a little nick taken out of the back here, and the crank itself is shaved down. So that's probably the cylinder that took the hit. But these all should be 30 thou over, and when I measured them, they were 30 thou over, but maybe it's just a little deeper on this side. There's no damage to the cylinder, and we're still within specs. We're just at the high end of it. And the chance that it'll be puffing smoke, I don't think so. There's always a chance. The rest of it looks perfect.
Hey, I got something to say. I'm just so sick of hearing everyone complain. I know it's tough and I know there's pain, but hitting bottom is the only way to change. So I'll keep hustling, you keep struggling. Bitch, I'm humbling, keep mumbling. I'll keep doubling, you keep bluffing. You've got nothing, I'll keep hustling. I've seen a lot of people who don't know what work is. I've seen a lot of people who don't know what thirst is. I've had a taste of evil and tried to cure the sickness, but I just keep my head down and focus on the facts. I'm setting down gravel while you just follow the path. I'll lead them into battle while you're just too scared to act. I'll leave the knife right in my back. So I'll keep hustling, you keep struggling. Bitch, I'm humbling, keep mumbling. I'll keep doubling, you keep bluffing. You've got nothing, I'll keep hustling.
Well, we're deep in it now. All the pistons are in, the rings are all clocked, everything's torqued down, bearings are all changed, everything's good to go. The rear main seal is in. Now I need to throw on the timing gear and timing chain because we're at that point now. But I'm going to go ahead and spray off the oil pan, the timing cover, valve cover, stuff like that. Hose all that stuff down, that way it's all drying while we're getting this timing gear and chain on. So I guess there's no better time than now to go back out in that heat and sweat it out. I'm gonna need some more salt.
Milk was a bad choice.
If ever there was an advertisement for the need for a face shield with a wire wheel, it's this. And maybe an advertisement for a cup, kind of like a porcupine around here. Anywho, whoever glued these on with some sort of Gorilla Glue or whatever the hell you used, I'm going to track you down and I will end you. This is ridiculous. Look at all this crap on the floor. The gaskets were literally hard as a rock, baked on there, glued. It was almost like they were petrified to it. Ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. It's cleaned off now. Burned the entire tape doing it. And I've worn my wire wheel down to nothing.
That's very impressive.
So, I'm going to take a break. I'm going to probably clean up a little bit, and then I'll come back out, and we'll start gluing stuff together again so somebody else can struggle getting it off. As you said before, we're going straight up with this guy. Not retarding, not advancing any. It's going to be a straight up 0. Why come you don't want to slide on? Oh, there's a little ridge on here. Okay, okay. All right. I hear you clucking, big chicken. We'll get the balancer to push that the rest of the way on. So the dot is here. A little bit more. Give that a go. Feels like a touch. A touch too much. Cam on this thing is not as easy to spin as a Ford. The Ford has a bolt right in the center and you just turn it and you can turn the cam. Well, this has 3 bolts and sprocket goes over the top of it and it's hard to get a hold of it. So I'm just complaining. Just let me do my complaining, okay? Curious why they would take the threaded portion of the oil filter. Does that fit in an LS? Why would they take that? Doesn't make any sense. I don't understand. It makes none of the good sense. Yeah. Good. There we go. That's it. I'm done. See you later. Adios. Now, I should just do the right thing and change the valve seals. Man, I'm running out of energy. Need to get this thing closed up so there ain't no dust in this airware. Dibby and little copper gasket on there. Appears I may have to want to loosen the pan up. Get this on. Okay, you win this time. We'll loosen the pan. I didn't want to, but you were making me. Some of you Chevy guys probably already knew that and didn't say a word. Now I don't trust you. Probably gonna have to loosen the pan up further. Then we'll loosen up the pan, set it down, and get those little fingers in there. I'm just gonna put these screws in. So I wanna put the balancer in first before I tighten any of this garbaggio down. I'm not putting 43 pounds of goop and liquid nail on any of these gaskets. So this thing's probably gonna leak like nobody's business considering how much crap it had on it before. Missing one. Where you at, little? There you are. So a little oil on the seal, toss in that harmonic balancer to line this up and we'll tighten it up. Ooh, I gotta put the key back in here. Once we get the rest of this painted, we'll go back and find our marks. And some more water. All right, let's tighten this cover. Now that I covered up 2 of the holes. All right, time has come for some heads. I'll spray some copper gasket on this guy, drop it down on here. Just making sure on these here Chevys. I know every single one of these bolts needs a Blue Monster thread seal because they all go into water jackets. Every single one of these 30 bolts in this head go into a water jacket. So, all right, spray some stuff on this. Boop. Voila. Now the head. I don't really have an in-between. I guess that's good enough there. Let's toss it on. Oh yeah. Dumping water on myself. Some biscuit eaters. I'm gonna lose a finger for sure. Where's the hole? Bam. Suckers are heavy. Oh yeah, I got this bolt I gotta get out because it's seized in there. Sweet. Alright, okay. Alright, all these are gooped up, so we are gonna torque them down, starting from the middle. Kind of shocked that these are only 65 foot-pounds for torque. There is like 35 of them in this head, so I mean, I guess it kind of makes sense. And these are 60. Alright, round again, just to make sure. Bam! Now we've just made this even heavier to try and get off. Woo, woo, woo. One more. Woo. Like, whoa. Boop. Oh, I hope my back's ready for this. Oh, come on. There it is. Oh no, it's got my shirt. Almost had to go to www.veteranrevivals.com to get another one. Anyways. Whew. All right. It is all torqued down all the ways. I'm going to throw the intake manifold up on top just to keep some dust out of here and throw the valve covers on, keep the dust out. And then I am going to bed as it is late and I got to get up early tomorrow to drive across the state. So we'll jump back on this the day after tomorrow, get her painted up, sealed up, and then, you know, ready to sit in the corner for a while till we find a transmission and put it in Colonel Sherbert. Details. Well, good morning. I'm already soaked because I was out there spraying off that intake manifold again after hitting it with the wire brush. But we need to jump back on this guy. And what has to happen before we go any further is I need to heat up these bolts that snapped off in here and get these suckers out of here. Both of them. Hopefully we can get both of them. There's enough sticking out. And I don't have a welder, so we're going to have to heat and try and turn with vice grips to get this guy out of here. But I think we can do it. Get them both out of there because I want to paint this, and heating it afterwards is just going to screw everything up. So get those out of there, get this thing painted, and we can start throwing. Look at how much crap that kerosene crap gas got off of those push rods and rockers. It's good stuff. That's why you keep that really crappy gas around. Even though the shop smells like hobo piss, I guess is the best way to put it.
Ew.
But anyways, we're good to go. Just need to get those out. Doing, doing, doing. Ooh, am I out of propane? This might be a problem. Get this out of the wind. Cooling it off while I'm heating it up. Oh no, I'm running out of propane. That's lame. I got another one over here though. I think we're spinning out. Yeah. All right. Okay. Don't drop in the engine. For the love of all that's holy. Woo! All right. Sweet. One down. Next. All right. That was a success. I am glad that worked out. That little scrapey scrape real quick while it's 3,000 degrees. Let's paint this pig. Well, I gotta hose it down with brake clean first, but then let's paint it. Those are hot. Woo! Yeah! And I'm gonna have to shut off the swamp cooler. It's gonna be 7,000 degrees in here. Just is what it is, man. Some things you can't help, you know? All right. I did find an oil filter adapter, FYI. We're good to go on that. Okay. Brake clean runs out too quickly. Like, I need a lot. I should probably get one of those ones you can refill. You can throw some pressure on it, you know? Cool, 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 cool. All right, cool. Even have a little bit left over. Oh, wow. The engine just shifted on the mount. That's interesting. Won't be getting that back over anytime soon. Whoopsie! All right, I have kicked off the fan. We are gonna fog this thing down. Just absolutely just fog everything, all of it. And then I'll come back and clean off whatever I think needs to be cleaned off. It's gonna get hot in here real quick, so I'll have to hurry up because I might sweat to death. It's an actual concern. It might happen. It's like 120 degrees in here, sometimes more. All right, let's blast it. Going with the Chevy orange red, because what you do with Chevy engines, isn't it? I don't think anybody uses corporate blue. You? Plus it's already got orange on it, so. It's a 1982. I'm sure they were orange that time. Maybe they were blue. It could have been blue. I don't know. I'm not a Chevy guy. But it's getting orange. It's what it's getting, gosh. Gosh dang it. Well, that's a nice piece of crap. I don't know what it is lately with all of the cans of spray paint I've been getting, but they're all garbage. This can is completely useless. Completely useless. Cool. Let's see if this one works. All right, let's go. Oh yeah, all these tools are going to be orange. Don't get all wild. I'm going to paint the balancer black. So you just simmer down. My engine stand that's only been blue ever is now getting a touch of orange. It's tainted. Irrevocably tainted. All right, getting a little dizzy. See you on the other side.
I'm feeling so high that I just can't stand it.
Okay, she's all painted up, beautiful as can be. I'll show you in a minute. However, now it's time to start throwing the valve train in here. Everything else is drying, everything is good, so we just need to start throwing the valve train and then we can seal it up. That's amazing. I got a new water pump for it. I got a new HEI cap for the distributor, a new fuel pump. It's going to be ready to sit here and do nothing real soon. So I got these guys, these lifters, chilling in the oil. And they've been in it for 3 or 4 days, just chilling, soaking, you know, getting the air bubbles out. So we're just going to dump the oil in there, and we'll take the lifters and start plopping them in their spots. I just drop all the lifters down into these bottles. Seems to work better. Glug this stuff all over the cam, down the lifter galleys, everywhere down the distributor hole, all that business. And I'll carefully just start picking them out and plopping them down the holes. Yeah. Now the really nasty part. I need to dig through this here bucket and get all the push rods and rockers out of that nasty fuel. Man, is it gross. But it's cleaned all the carbon off and it looks really good. So we're going to grab those. Woo. Do you remember what they look like before I dropped them into this bucket? This is quite the improvement. It looks pretty dang good. I'll take it. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna knock all these out and toss them in their holes. You just hang out for a minute. All those are in. We're good to go. It looks good. I'm going to toss these nuts in here. These are the top of the studs. They did not get dropped in the bucket. We'll toss those in, rinse them around. Meanwhile, throw all the rockers up here and the pivots or the pedestals or whatever you want to call those little things on top of the rocker that it sits back and forth. I need to learn the nomenclature for all of this. I'm starting to sound like an idiot. All of these rockers look fantastic, FYI. Unlike that lifter and cam. But this thing ran like absolute doo-doo with that exhaust valve. Or I'm sorry, it was over here on this side. The exhaust valve. Just not doing anything. I wish there was smell-o-vision so you could smell what this gasoline smells like. I'm sure some of you know. But there's some of you that just haven't had the privilege. I think it's a rite of passage too to get spoiled or sour gas dumped all over you and in your armpits and everything. It's just something about it that keeps you going, makes you want to do more projects. Hi, welcome to down here, where I need to install this oil filter adapter, and it goes right up in here, but I already put oil in here, and I don't have a dipstick over there, so if I turn the engine that side, it pukes out all over the place. So we're gonna do it from this way. Maybe I can tilt it this way and get at it from over there. Let's give it a try.
Be careful.
Okay, all right, okay, let's do that. All right, I gotta put it up in here. I'm gonna put a little bit of blue on it, just cause, I don't know, there's a lot of vibration up in here. I think the last thing I want is this little adapter finding its way out of here and the oil filter falling off, you know? Because I'm gonna have a bad day. All right, GTG. See if our oil filter will spin on there appropriately. Not worried about priming this big guy because, well, you know, it's not running. I'm just gonna spin it with a drill and it's gonna fill up. Sweet Caroline, let's flip this over. Sweet golly. Whew. Okay, now I can start taking these nuts down a little bit just to get them on here and close up that gap. That way when we start pumping oil through, it'll come up through the push rod. Need a flashlight. Thank you. I'm just taking this down into the lifter until it won't move back and forth, and then once we get this all rotated around and get through all of them, it'll be good. Like I said, I want to get some oil pumped up through all this stuff before I do that. All this slack is taken up out of all of these. I'm going to dump some more oil in here and we'll start pumping it around. Glop this all over everything. This is an engine break-in oil additive. If you can't get the whole big bottle or the big jug of break-in oil, you can use this. Sometimes it doesn't matter what you put in here. From what I understand with these hydraulic flat tappets, if they want to go, there's a good chance they're going to go. Throw another couple quarts in here, and that should be good to start us off. All right, let me rig up something. Just pump that pump shaft and get some oil up to the top. All right, well, I learned something new with GM. You have to have the distributor in there in order to plug that hole and get pressure everywhere else. Sweet. Cool. All right. Right on. JK guys, JK, I don't have the tool to prime this. In other words, I don't have a distributor without the gear on it to prime this, so we just slang a bunch of assembly lube on everything, soaked it, and we'll see how it does with that. Because all we're doing, we're just getting all of the slack out of all these lifters and getting the rockers bottomed out. So yeah, that's what we're gonna do right now. I'm gonna go around and do that, quarter turn at a time. Nada, little bit. Round and round we go. Where we stop, we'll never know. Yeah. Actually, we will know because I'm stopping it. All right, now we're gonna go through a half turn, 3/4 turn until it bottoms out the nut. And that should be good. Okay, all right. Now this can get covered up, but we're done with it. Don't need to do that no mo. I am definitely slinging some goop on the China wall here. Homie, don't play that. I got some new bolts for this intake, so we're gonna use those. Yeah, it's gonna be good. Come on, baby, light my fire. Yeah. Okay. Shazam! Okie dokie, intake manifoldy. Of course, it needs to go forward and everything's stuck to it now. Now let's put some bolts in it. Bought new ones, by the way. I think I already said that. You get it. They need to be longer. Why are they so short? Need longer. These are too short too? Well, I never in the history of ever wouldn't have the bolts for things because, you know, why would you need bolts for anything? None of that makes any good sense. Feels like a touch. Touch too much. Okay, I'm just saying, you know. We all know that chrome will definitely get you home. And also a 160 thermostat should get you there too. Thing feels a little chintzy. Almost sounds like plastic. More goop, because we know everything in a Chevy goes into a water passage. All of it. Every single one of the bolts. Wokely dokely, smokelies. Now we need to get the fuel pump on here. I got one of them too. It's real nice. Got it from Target. It's on sale. It also doesn't have any bolts, so I'm gonna have to find those real quick. Get this pump shaft to stay up. All right, we're gonna have to tilt it. Come on, pump shaft, get up there. Go on, get. Go on now. Really? Am I gonna have to pull this plug and push it up there? Unbelievable, just unbelievable. And this plug's probably not gonna come out, so there's that. Oh, it is. Stay up there. It's interesting getting that plug back in there. All right, let's take this back off. Gotta hurry up. Oil's starting to drip out the other side. Okay. Flip her back up so we stop losing oil. Yeah. Frick. Valve covers? We're like getting right down in there, folks. This thing's getting close. Now there are some issues. There's one bolt for the valve cover snapped off on this side, up here in the corner. I can't get it out. Let's just hope it's not going to be an issue. There's only like 6 bolts holding these things on, so we'll figure it out if it's a leaker, but right now I just ain't got time for it. Now I will have to agree with everybody in the existence of mankind. These rubber ones are garbage. They scoot out the sides, but we're going to give them a go anyways, because that's what we got, you know? It puts the bolts in the holes. I don't like these stamped covers, personally, for the fact that they don't seal. They don't ever seal. Ever. You have to like glue them down to get them to seal. And so I think the cast ones you can get off Amazon for like $100. They probably don't look as cool as these, or as OG, as having like a Moroso cover, but it won't leak. All right, let's tighten these down and get that other one on. Coming down to the end here, only a couple of things left to manage. There it goes. Distributor, we'll throw the cap on. And this sucker will be sealed up, ready to sit in the corner. Yeah, we are almost home free. Well, that is it. It is all put together. I bought spark plugs for it. I have no idea where they're at. That's strange in itself. Anyways, it is all put together. It's sealed up. We'll get some headers at another time. We're missing half of the valve cover bolts. We're missing 4 of the intake manifold bolts, so I'm still gonna have to get those bolts and stuff like that. But now this thing is put together and it is ready to go sit in the corner over there for a while. I don't know how long. Hopefully not too long. Hopefully we can get a transmission and we can get it into Colonel Sherbert, and that thing will be ready to cruise. It's already got a short bed waiting to get slapped on top of it, and it's a good little truck. We'll start cleaning that thing up as well and throw all this stuff in here, but it's good to go. Put it all together, cheap as we possibly could. Came out to around $800 to $900 with some odds and ends here. I already had the Edelbrock sitting on the shelf, so that doesn't cost anything. But the adapter for the quadra-drunk up to the 4150, that costs some money. The thermostat housing, water pump, all of the bearings, all of the rings, HEI cap for the back, all of the gaskets, and spark plugs wherever those went. Some bolts here and there, and that's it. And it came out to about $850, $900. That's about as cheap as we could possibly build this thing. And it should be a ripper, and it should be dependable, should be good to go. Some of the ring gaps were a little large, but they're still within spec.
Boring.
Anywho, thanks for watching me struggle put this together. Just like every engine build that I put together, I struggled through. It actually wasn't too bad. It had some quirks here and there, but it went together fairly easy, and everybody tells me Chevy is the way to go, so we'll see exactly how this went. There were some stuff in there that I wasn't too sure about. I don't know. I think the head bolts are really, really skinny, even though there's like 25 of them in each head. The valve cover bolts are really, really tiny, and all of the bolts go into water jackets. I mean, everything. Once you get all the things figured out, I'm sure this thing is just a great, and all the Chevy guys love it, so it must be great. It's just a little different than Ford, and that's all I'm saying. I like my big block Fords. Maybe I'll like this big block Chevy. That's going to do it for this episode. Make sure you check out all my merchandise. People are really loving the I Love Rusty Junk shirt. Make sure you go check it out. www.veteranrevivals.com. Thank you guys. And as always, have fun.